In this episode of Test Drive, we are going to check out the new weather force from the team at Rex. Will it be the answer to our weather dramas in a Microsoft Flight Simulator, or will it just be a waste of money? We will let you know if you should buy it, so stick around as this video starts now. Welcome to another test drive video. Now, if you haven't seen one of these before, this is where we take a scenery, an aircraft, an add-on, or even an airport in different types of simulators. We'll take them for a spin around the block. I'll give you my first impressions. Is it worth your hard-earned cash? So hit that subscribe button for more weekly test drive and flight sim content. Welcome to a weather force from Rex 2020. So basically what this application does, it grabs a METAR data and injects it into the sim, so it's more accurate than what actual Microsoft Flight Simulator is at the moment. So it grabs the data from the NOAA dataset or website and it injects it into sim up to 6 times per hour and is accurate up to 1/8 of a mile of any given point. Also, the weather does utilize different types of algorithms for the meter and models it just in case you're in a sparse area like an ocean or a desert where it can't get the meter data. It will actually create the weather for you. Also, it uses the global forecast system and models and downloads that twice a day to provide you things like winds aloft or temperatures for the future. So it's pretty accurate, and I've been messing around with it and going in different airports and checking out the weather, which we're going to show you guys, and it seems pretty good. It's disappointing with part of Microsoft Flight Simulator is we didn't think we would need any add-ons for this, but we definitely need an add-on to weather at the moment, and I'm looking for the most accurate and the most realistic sim I can get possibly, so this is going to help this way. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump in and have a look at all the features tabs and see what weather force brings to the sim, and also we're going to start from the settings so you can see what settings I have done. So why don't we jump into that? So we'll go and take a look at the settings that I have done for weather force. Now, when I actually did the installation, it was nice and easy. I installed it. It comes with an installer, pre-packages in and puts it into your PC. There's nothing that you need to do. All you need to do is just remember your registration details, because you will need to put that in again. So in the general settings, the only thing that I've changed here, I've converted it to Celsius and millibars, because obviously we're in Australia, so I need to have the right ones for us. The weather engine settings I've left complete default, so it's actually sitting on enable real-time weather injection. So basically that'll do that when I ask it to be done. So the other options is to enable instant weather on load, so I'm not doing that. So I haven't messed around with it. I don't know what it's going to do. I've just kept it just for the video, everything as default. So the first screen that we do have is live weather. Now what you can actually do is you can have some favorites. So I've got one of my local big international airport, which is YBBN, which is Brisbane. So what it does is it gives you a bit of a visual representation of what the weather's going to be, and you can have all different favorites down here. And you can actually go and search for other airports as well. So this is what we're going to do. For some reason there is a little bit of a glitch where the weather won't pop up. I actually have to go and search for it, and I'm sure that's going to be fixed. So we'll jump into the search option and we'll come back to this. We'll type in YBBN and hit search, and it'll bring up 2 airports that are close. We're going to click this one, and we'll go back to view and we'll come back to it. So normally I would assume you just click here and the weather would come up for Brisbane. So what it's actually going to tell me is it's actually sunny. And it's going to say the weather conditions are clear. Now the weather engine is on standby, but it is on live weather, so it's basically just grab that METAR data for Brisbane then. So temperature is 19 degrees Celsius, dew point will be at 5, the pressure is 1021, winds are east to southeast, and wind speed is 7 knots, and no wind gusts there. And then you got the TAF basically a reading right there, which is really cool. And also you have the winds and temperature are lost for the forecast too. So at 2,500 feet, Winds to the south 10 knots, and degrees is 10. And if we go up to 5,000 southwest at 3 knots and at 6 degrees. So that's awesome if you want to fly navigations and it really use the VR experience, or if you're flying long distances, having winds aloft in the sim, which we're going to check out, should be very, very, very cool. So going back to the search option here, we click on here. So I can search for different airports by using the airport ICAO. So we did YBBNN, and it would bring me up a couple that are close to. So obviously Brisbane, and also I think that's Amberley, which is an Air Force base. If I wanted to do Sydney, so YSSY, we do search, and it will bring me Sydney, and it basically says a few clouds, and then you got the Taft there, which is pretty good. Now if I wanted to search for something, basically I just want to fly in some stormy conditions and things like that, you can use a search parameter by clicking here. That'll enable a search parameter, and you'll have different things. So you can go rain, snowy, haze, smoke, thunderstorms, fog, towering clouds, and you've got different types of visibility. So we might choose one that is towering clouds with a visibility of, we'll go 1/8 there. And we'll do a bit of a search and see if we can find something. Nothing, so maybe we just go towering clouds. There we go, and found a bunch of different airports. We go this one here, and hit view, and it will basically give us all that information. Now there's other things you can do. It does have a dynamic themes, which we can click on now. This is very, very similar to what FSX had back in the day. So you've got different dynamic themes such as fair weather day, approaching cloud fronts, approaching warm fronts, hot and humid summer days, lake effects and snow, and winter storms, crisp winter days, breezy, and spring showers. So we're not going to check them out in this video. We're basically just looking at the live weather and comparing that with what Microsoft Flight Simulator is doing. By the looks of it is... No, that's not going to work, so we have to do search data again. I guess this glitch will be fixed, and with anything to do with simulators these days, products launching without glitches or bugs or anything like that, that would be unusual if that didn't happen. So by the looks of it, there will be some other features such as historical weather will be making Weather Force, also weather themes, flight center, and an interactive map. So at the moment it's basically dynamic themes and also just a live weather injection, and that's pretty much what I want, but obviously we've got some extra goodies coming on down the line. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into this airport which is behind us, which is using the Orbex scenery at Darrington, and the weather that you're actually seeing behind us is the weather from Microsoft Flight Simulator itself, and then we're actually going to go and check out the weather from Weather Force, and we're going to inject it into the sim. So normally when you go to load, you can hit start weather synthesis. Now to start injecting the weather into the sim, there is 4 steps or 5 steps. First one is to start the simulator, navigate to the world map, set the destination arrival and the flight plan, and basically click the flight conditions and select them to preset to select clear skies. So it wants the simulator to be in clear skies so it can inject the weather into it itself. So then you click fly, and once it starts you basically hit the green button to inject the weather into the sim. We're already in the sim, so we're going to have a look at the Microsoft Flight Simulator weather, and then we're going to change it to clear skies, which we can do within the sim, and then we're going to import the Weather Force METAR data into the sim and see what it looks like. So we're just going to hit cancel here for now. Airport, which is a 1S2 I believe, and it's one of the Orbex sceneries here. So this is using the weather for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on here, I'm going to go to weather, and we're going to go to clear skies. So there, it's clear there, and we're going to cross that off. We're going to bring up Weather Force here, and we're going to start injecting that into the sim. We'll just count down and see how quick it's actually going. We'll bring that up and we'll move that over and see how long it takes to bring over to the sim. There we go. So probably about 10 seconds or so. Let's move that down. And as we can see, it's a bit more overcast than what it was looking before. Very interesting. So if we actually bring up the weather, so it says temperature is at 11, dew point is 9, pressure is 1027, and it's picking up weather not from this airport, but it's about 26 kilometers away from the aircraft's location, and it's at Kilo Alpha Whiskey Oscar, and set at mostly cloudy. Wind speeds is 3 knots, no gusts, and there we've got the temperatures. So we'll check out another airport and see what it looks like. So here we are at the next airport, which is Tri-County, which is KAJS, I believe. So we're currently in the weather with a Microsoft Flight Simulator. So the weather's meant to be raining and dewy with no winds, pretty much just rainy, cloudy, dewy, very, very, very overcast. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to make it go clear skies. And we'll change that to clear skies. There we go. And we'll bring up Rex, a weather force, and we will inject that into the sim right now. We'll hit start synthesis and watch it do its thing. So it's bringing out weather for Tri-County there. Active. Now it's injecting. So it doesn't take long at all for it to do its thing. We'll see what it looks like once it's loaded in. There we go. And it's actually raining. How cool is that? So where before Microsoft Flight Simulator said it wasn't raining, and we looked at the meter and it was meant to be raining, and it is. That is not a VFR conditions today. We would not be going up in the 152 at all today. Very, very cool. All right, so let's bring up, so we'll have a look at KASJ, Tri-County. Towering clouds with moderate showers. Temperature is 18 degrees Celsius, dew point is 18, pressure is 1015. Wind direction 0, there's no wind, and there's obviously no gusting. And we do obviously have the little cloud with the showers. It's grabbing data from basically 1.03 kilometers away from the aircraft's location. So it's pretty accurate. So this time we'll do something different. So what we're going to do, we're going to pick a different airport and we're going to use the search way of doing it. So we're going to use the search parameters. We'll click search here. We'll go for something that has thunderstorms and we'll hit search. And we'll get something in the United States. See if there's anything around. No, there's nothing. We'll go storms in the vicinity of, I don't know, some of these airports. We'll do a VTSF. I'm not sure where that is, so we'll just select that and hit view. That's going to be there. I'm not sure what that is, but we'll load into the sim and see how we go there. Okay, so here we are at the airport that we chose. So we've loaded in the weather from Microsoft Flight Simulator itself, and it says that thunderstorms should be in the vicinity. And you can see that there seems to be a bit of a front coming through this way. And there's quite a lot of cloud around. And you would think this would be a day where you would see thunderstorms. And by the looks of it, it's starting to rain. So we'll see how it goes. So we're going to load up a weather force from Rex. And we've got the weather here. So we're just going to go straight away. We'll change it to clear skies, as we need to do. So there's clear skies. And then we're going to load the weather for weather force into the sim. You hit start synthesis. And it is active. And it's injecting into the sim. And there we go. I'm not sure why it's saying Tri-County before, but this does look like there is thunderstorms happening where it needs to be. Oh, listen to that. Wow. And you can see the clouds moving around. Now that's more like thunderstorms in the vicinity. You can see there's a storm front coming through. Very, very, very cool. Obviously, I don't have my clouds on ultra high. But we've got this thunderstorm rolling right in. So we'll just double check what the weather should say as we watch the thunderstorms rolling. So we should have thunderstorms in the vicinity at Nukon, if I could say that correctly. And then we've obviously got the cloud with the lightning. There's the METAR there. And temperature is 29, dew point is 26, pressure is 1,006, winds to the southeast, 4 knots at 0. And then if we go and check out, there's our winds aloft and temperatures at 2,500 feet, 16,000 feet, and so on. So we're going to actually check out winds aloft. We're going to jump in the air in the aircraft, and we're going to check out different types of altitude and see what that's going to do. But all in all, it seems to be that weather force is pretty accurate from what we're seeing. It's particulating the weather quite accurate to the METAR at what it should be. So again, I wouldn't really be doing much flying in these sorts of conditions. But so far, Rex weather force is looking pretty good. Check our winds aloft. So we're at Key West International Airport, and we're in the weather for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So we're going to do the same thing. We are going to the weather. We're going to go to clear skies. There we go. There are clear skies. We're going to grab a weather force, and we're going to start and pop the weather into the sim so it's active. And we're going to check what the weather conditions are going to be. And then we'll check to see what the wind temperatures and the aloft forecast is doing at the different altitudes of 2,500 and 5,000 feet. We'll see how accurate it is. So injecting into the sim. There we go, Key West. It's meant to be beautiful. We've got towering cloud conditions. The weather's basically giving us the METAR data from under half a kilometre. And at 2,500 feet, we're meant to have 4 knots of wind to the southwest. So we've got our weather basically here. So we're going to see how that goes. And let's go. And we'll take off and get into the air and then see what it looks like. And this is not going to be a procedural flight. We're just going to get in the air and we're going to check the winds aloft. There's 60. There we go. Nice, smooth rotation. Alright. We'll switch back once we're at 2,500 feet and we'll check how accurate the wind conditions are. Alrighty, so we're just above 2,500 feet. We're at 2,600. We'll zoom into the display. So at what this is basically showing, wind is at 5 and it's coming from the southwest, so about 260, and temperature is 24 degrees. So we're going to jump into weather force and see what it's doing at 2,500 feet. So temperature should be 23 at 4 knots. So I think we were showing 5 before. We'll just move this over here so you can see. So at 5 knots and to the southwest. So exactly what it should be. Or we've been near enough. It might be a degree off or a knot off, but very, 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 very close. So we'll climb up to 5,000 and see what it looks like. Alrighty, so we've reached 5,000 feet. So currently we are sitting at 20 degrees Celsius. Wind is at 5 knots at 270. So pretty much a southwest of our wind. So we're going to just see what weather force is doing at 5,000 feet. So our temperature is meant to be 18 degrees Celsius, so we're not too far off it. Wind is 4, so not too far away from that, and the wind direction is a west-south-west. So yeah, okay, it's pretty close to that again. So very accurate. So well done to a weather force on the weather prediction and also the meter forecast. So we're here back at Knock-On, which is where we had the big thunderstorms, and it looks like the thunderstorms, we've missed it now. We were hoping to actually go back and fly into it. So Rex 2020 weather force is, you can pick it up for $21.95 USD. So it's not too bad considering what it does. I'm really happy with the price, and I find it a good value for money. So there's still more things to add. So they're going to add the historical archive to support historical weather data. You're going to have shared presets as well, so it will support personal and community weather presets, which will be really cool. And also mapping and more, so a full feature of flight center and mapping system. So they'll do that once the SDK from Microsoft Flight Simulator is up to date, where they can do those things. So all in all, I think until a Microsoft Flight Simulator has a better weather injection for itself, this could be, or will be, probably my only weather application that I'll be using, and it's been one thing that I've been missing in the sim. So it's just making the sim for myself that little step further, becoming the best possible sim you can get. So we've still got a lot of other things to work on, but Rex from Weather Force does a fantastic job, so thumbs up for me. So if you like this video, please smash that blue thumbs up button, as it really helps out the video. And if you're new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with all the latest Microsoft Flight Simulator development news and insights, please click that subscribe button. I would love to hear your comments below. Are you planning on picking up a weather force from Rex? I'd be really interested to know. I'm going to leave you with one of my other favorite Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 videos here. Why don't you check that one out, and I will see you over there.